What's going on? Move the Mouse back in ROCKDALE 2.0, and this is one that I was able to recover from my last PC thanks to Cloud Save. I figured I'd load this one back up. For those of you that don't remember ROCKDALE, it was actually my Season 1 Let's Play, and it was a very simple grid-based city. It was kind of ugly, smashed up against the edge of the map, and I wanted to kind of go back and revisit and fix it. Get some abandoned buildings there I can see in that cinematic, but that's all right. We're kind of playing with all the cheats on. Did it seriously just freeze on me? All right, let's academic year report. Okay, great, thanks. So let's get out of that. I've added a couple mods. I'll go over some of those as we kind of rebuild and relook at the city again. Let's change the look a little bit because I feel like it's a little dull. I guess that's okay. Global light intensity doesn't do much at that's the daylight, and then the ambient light intensity you see a lot more change with how the lights actually affect the dimmer areas of the map at night. We won't overdo either of those for now. Regular camera, free camera. There we go. Get a look from overhead. And can we zoom? We can zoom way out now, as well as zoom way in thanks to Zoom It. But we're kind of building or focusing, on this first area, this side of the river. I had built previously the big circular city over here. We had a big industrial pocket up this way, but I'm really looking to make this one more of a kind of a dense urban city, you know, that has a lot of people living in a small space. Pause. All right, let's hang on a second. Fire, emergency services. What's my fire coverage like? My fire coverage is actually pretty decent. It's not terrible. It's really good in the area that's burning, unfortunately, but do we have a helicopter depot yet? I feel like we may not. Right? We don't, do we? So we want this someplace over here near the water. Can we cram it in over here? That would be great. Let's do that. Let's hit play. Probably could have put it a little closer to the fires. That is really unfortunate. I do like my trees, and I updated because it's actually snowing here in New England. We had snow on the ground for Halloween, but definitely, you know, the New England trees, they look beautiful. I've added a bunch of trees, and we're at the default LOD though, so it's not actually animating the best unless, you know, we're right on top of it. So this is interesting. Let's let this play out. Let's see what happens here, and yeah, we'll be right back. Just throw a disaster response unit in there in advance. Filling in that blank space with trees, you really pay the price for. All right, so that's basically contained at this point. We're doing all right. They'll put these last couple out, I think. And it looks like, did the building get auto rebuilt? I wonder if I turned auto bulldoze it on. Although I thought auto bulldoze it doesn't work if you have a disaster response, which I put in the middle of that fire, so maybe the building got rebuilt. That's a terrific start for our return to ROCKDALE. I've got to look, and somebody let me know in the comments, better yet in the Discord. Can I change the trees that are built into these university park assets or park assets in general? I don't know if there's a way to separate those out. Modify the trees that are in there. This just changes, this mod changes the like the counts that are involved with a building. How much of a fire hazard is it? Set that to 0 on everything at this point. But you can change like how many workers it employs and construction costs and all sorts of stuff. Little extra settings option there. But wondering if there's a way, to separate out the elements. And if you know, let me know, please. This will grow back. This will be fine. Whoa. Those ones. How close were these, right? If the building looks like that, how close was it to going up? None of the other ones on this block are scorched like that. Okay, so what can we do today? Well, cleaned up Central Park a little bit. It kind of looks like crop circles, but it's all right. It's all right if you're down there on foot, cutting through the trees. It doesn't seem so bad. It doesn't seem so organized. I guess when you get to long center shafts of the pathways like that. Speaking of pathways, we've got to find a spot, and let me just go up here for now. Let's see, where can we cut off our city growth, right? Over here. Maybe we start to have some smaller pockets of residential up this way. But check this out. Let me see if I can get this mod working, because this is kind of cool. Let's say you had a road over here. There's a road. Are they going to be under this? What are they going to be under? Regular roads. Park roads. Okay, so you know all the park footpaths that we have if you have Park Life DLC? Or if you just have pedestrian paths, basically. You have these smaller paths that are pedestrian or bike specific, and they link up with roads. What we can do now is with these park roads, you have options for no parking, right? But it's either a two-way with pedestrians, a one-way with pedestrians. It's a little confusing, right? But basically what we can do, I gotta turn those pop-ups off. Is this the regular park? This is a campus road. So let's look at this. Can we upgrade this? We can't, because that's a path and the other one's a road technically. Campus road, which one is that? That's two-way with pedestrians. So we can technically connect this to the road. And then let's get a couple residential buildings just to see this. Low density res. Take their unicorn filter off. And now this becomes a zonable, ploppable space where houses can move into. All right. Now, you could have it kind of, again, acting as a one-way. Maybe people can leave the area with their car, but they can only, they have to park out here at the edge of the street, walk coming in. I also like what they do here with the way that meets this the little shrubbery posts. So we might mess around with that, but that's if we get to, smaller density stuff out towards the edges of our map. We're not there yet, but I definitely want to mess around and check that out. I mean, maybe we could even do something like this for a little plaza area down here somewhere. But I want to look at dumping one thing in here today. So we've got our little industrial park up here. And it's not doing a whole lot. But what do we have? That filter off. What do we have for a factory? Lemonade, food, clothing, cars, furniture. Let's do a furniture factory up here. That's fine. And maybe we could cram it. Looks like we can cram it right there, I think. Oh, it's not gonna let us, oh, it will. Okay. So let's move these. In fact, we'll just move these to the other outside for now. That's fine. Move. We're using the regular move tool in game. But now we get room for a factory here. So furniture factory, it's complaining not enough special goods. It needs timber and paper. That actually should be sorted. Let me see here. Let's pause. Let's go into options. Did I not put in a train station there? Got a lot of mods going right now. Where is infinite goods? stock unique factories with all these things. Turn that back on. Turn it off, turn it on. So it should. Did it just go away? It did. So totally cheating the system here. It thinks that it never needs I think it thinks that it never needs goods. So normally you would have a production chain. You'd have trees, take that to the sawmill to turn it into timber, and you'd store it, you'd send it to the factory. You'd send it to the paper mill to get turned into paper, and those things then get sent over here. You can see they're maintaining full capacity automatically, and we don't have to import anything. We don't have to develop it in city. So I'm going for more of an aesthetic build here. This one, we're totally cheating. We're 175,000 in the negative red for our budget cycle. Like, that's not how much money we're in the red. That's how much money per period we're losing because of all the stuff and infrastructure we put into place in this relatively small town of 60,000 people. But this infinite goods and things like that allows us to do stuff like this, right? To just drop a factory in for the sake of having a factory rather than actually having to build out the infrastructure. I'm still trying to keep the zoning relatively balanced. I do have a demand meter. It's not turned on right now, I don't believe. And maybe I didn't even install it. I don't know. Or can I? I can. It is installed. So you can modify what the demands are and fix it to a certain value, but it'll totally disrupt your city and how it functions. And some people 100% build with aesthetics in mind. Even when I'm cheating, I still like to build with like the actual form and function in mind. How's our trees? How are we doing over here? Starting to turn green again over there, which is good. So we've got one factory. Sorry for jumping around. I feel like my camera movements are way herky jerkier on PC, and I probably why people edit that out. But we've got this one factory over here. We could, I guess while we're at it, and it's so fast. Let's not put trees on that ridge. Let's see if we can smooth this out first before we worry about the trees. And then where it's not rocky, we'll plant trees. So smoothing, increase the brush size. Whoa, undo. That is the level tool. Like, why is that doing that so drastic? That's obnoxious. Shouldn't be doing that. And it's correct. It should not be doing that. You get the wrong setting on, mouse. So we'll smooth out all around that side. And now let's look at our tree coverage. So forest brush, I've got a fall brush set up here. So maybe we do, kind of a couple trees there, a quick batch there, and then really thicken out the separation in between here. I don't know. I think that works. I got to figure out something for the ground textures, because I don't think it should eat up into the grass that much, but we'll do that. And that way, if it catches fire, it really has a chance to spread through the area. I love trees. I really do. They're terrible for performance and for fires, but I love the look. We'll leave this open for a minute here. Why don't we get, since we've got the train hookup for it, let's move these guys. So it looks like that works without a road, which is totally fine by me. We've turned them sideways. We had a road coming through and then we deleted it. It is a really small road. So basically the gravel size road, not the 2-lane streets, which I think are a little smaller. So that trick may work on console. I'm not 100% though. Seems to be working without move it. Kind of gives an interesting look here too. I wonder if we flip flop those buildings, if it would make more sense to have this parking lot in the back of the lot. On the other side, do we do that? Or do we just leave it? I think we just leave it. Let's get the train station in next. So this is going to be a cargo. Tram, trains, cargo. Oh, do we have room for this and we deleted it? Because it looks like it lines up just perfect. I feel like this had to have been hooked up before. Maybe we can just move this down just a little bit. Just to straighten out that ridge. I think that works. And then now we can finish with our trees. Is it going to let any grow? A couple will grow in between the tracks there. Oh no. Where does that highway go? What is that highway doing? Did I not finish this? At the very least, there should be a little loop around. Right? I think. So we don't put undue stress on the exit that's there. Is this the 3-lane? So can we just do that? Slope too steep? No, it isn't. Okay, maybe it is. It's a pretty bad steep. It's pretty bad steep. It's a pretty bad slope. But it'll work. It's fine. So our industrial area should be pretty self-sufficient. We've got our first factory, little train line here. Some goods that can be produced in city, but it doesn't matter anymore because we're using infinite goods, totally cheating the system. We looked at our fire coverage earlier. I don't think we looked at our police coverage, though. Detain criminals, lots of capacity. They're just not getting down there in time. There we go. Okay, they just hit that entire row all at once. That's some speedy police work. Okay, maybe we can do it with this space back here. Let's take a look at that slope. There's a little bit of a lump there. Try and smooth that out. Not with a tree brush. Smooth it out with that one. Okay, so that train's not going to be super useful, huh? Does that at least connect to the outside of the map, I believe? I believe that it does, because obviously I haven't built out there yet. Okay, and then maybe we could bring that in to another little industrial park down here. Maybe we can fit one in over here, just to get some goods moving around the city on train, even though we don't need it. So let's see, like, how would we slot something into this space, right? We don't want to worry maybe about what this grid looks like. We want to build completely off the river, which is relatively parallel, but we can do this a little bit differently here. So if we go into 2-lane roads, there is the option for, where are the industrial ones? They're going to be before all my add-on ones. That's a small 2-way road. Do they have regular industrial that aren't? Whatever. Let's do something different with the markers here. So basic road with a painted median. And let's reform kind of along the river so that we can zone on both sides. We start to kind of lose a little bit of touch with the shoreline. Like, we want it to stay relatively consistent, or at least I do. So maybe something like that. Okay, so now that we've got kind of a road in there, come to think of it, we're going to want to leave room for the train track. So let's see if we can cargo train this in there. Space already occupied. Oh, is that? Why won't it let me snap there? Because this is not zonable? Because I built it off the ground? Roads. Okay, there we go. I had to elevate it off the ground. Apparently I was up a notch. So now we can do this. We'll anarchy Where will it let me? So I guess I'll just put it over here for now. And then let's curve this road up a bit. We'll get it away from the shoreline, I guess. Towards the end down here. So freeform. That should be enough space. Let's go with a straight shot of the road. And then we'll connect the two. Did that raise it again? Why? Why is it doing that? Was I one tick up? Okay, so a force upgrade. Whatever. We can fine tune it after the fact. So let's bring this down here now. Okay, well, actually, let me legitimately place it there. So let's move all this down uniformly. So that node, and that node, and this building. And let's bring it down till it's kind of even with the key wall, I guess. To be perfect. Should most likely be up just a little bit, but let's see what happens if we kind of bring that down there. That could work. And then back over to trains. Not to train station. We're not going to put a train station on a train station. We're freeform. Let's force it to the ground. Something like that? Is that too much? Do we take the road down where it's next to the train tracks? And then how do we hook them in? Do we give them their own roundabout? Do we want them? I think we want them coming in this way. So do a standard street coming in here. Like that. And then let's get rid of those couple little silly bits of zoning right there. And there, I guess. We don't have any residential in the area, so why don't we move in a couple generic industry? Just on this block, maybe? I think that could kind of make sense. And then over here, let's do something with a factory. And let's clear that out too. That doesn't need to be there. Why the sudden... Oh, everybody's parking cars because they can't park on the bike lane streets. We won't bike lane this, but I also think it's odd that we have that grouping of cars. So let's just do no parking on that strip, even though it's not a bike lane road. Okay, factory number 2. What do we need here? We already put in furniture factory. I think it's going to let us put in multiple copies. So household plastic factory. Modular house factory. Make sneakers. Toys is up there. Electronics, though. Closer to my heart. Can we fit this thing? So I guess we could fit that if we got rid of... If we turn off anarchy, and we get rid of this, can we fit that in there? Ugh. Look at how close that is. It's like it was made for that space. So can we bring this over so that there's still room for a sidewalk there? I think we can. And then, let's see. Those trees are part of the lot. Can we surface paint? Pavement? Oh, way too much. Way too much, way too much. Much smaller brush size. Let's see if we can just, yeah, round out that plaza, right? So not on that side. Like, where do we cut this off? You know? Like that, maybe? That works. Now let's come over here and plaza this side off. Kind of gives it an odd diagonal, and it also replaces the pavement under those train tracks. That's interesting. But I think to have a little extra pavement does make sense. Right, because where's the building actually cut off its pavement? Right there at that parking lot. You know, does that work? I don't know. Does that work any better? Let's see when we fill it in. Because we're going to fill it in, right? But we still want some pavement space, and Surface Painter is awesome for that. Changing the look of some of the plazas and stuff around your map. And we can do this just to separate out some of the noise. Industrial area, a little bit of filtering. Come all the way down around this junction here. Now, this is a dead train line. It does connect in all the way from the outside world. Connects to cargo here, and this connects. I believe I'm gonna have to double check the outside connections. Let me kind of stop it there for today. I think that's a good spot. I mean, there's a lot to do. There's a ton to this build is in its infancy still. So let's really zoom out more than we can by default with zoom it. So we're gonna have, you know, a really relatively large city kind of on either side of the river, but then I'm gonna have some suburbs and some smaller things happening off to the edges of the map. We really want to try and make things dense around here, kind of revisiting those pop-ups, pop-up town. So yeah, we'll keep plugging away. I've got kind of 3 builds going on now. So I've got the other PC build, of course, Rosewood on console, and this blast from the past. Again, Rockdale was my very first Let's Play city last year. Was it last year? It had to. It's such a blur lately. Anyways, I started to revisit Rockdale and reimagine, rebuild it on PC, and that's again what you were seeing here today. So. I'll be going through some of the mods that I use in more detail, and this is a good spot to do it. But stay tuned for that. I try and crank out new content Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, but life and work sometimes get in the way. So check back and hit the bell to get notifications for updates in this and other series. Assuming you're already subscribed, of course. If you're not, now's a great time to do so. Sat through the whole video. I imagine you enjoyed it or fell asleep. So if it's the first one, then hit the like button, subscribe, and check back for more. If you'd like to support the channel, links to that and lots of other things in the description down below. Until the next one, though, this is Move the Mouse, signing off.